Good evening everyone, this is the Great Pumpkin speaking and welcome to this new stream of Final Fantasy XIV. So tonight I've had the St. Mocianne Arboretum hard dungeon sitting in my journal for a while, so we're gonna start by getting queued up for that right away. After that we'll actually be having a look at the crossover with Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy XIV by trying to unlock the Rathalos trial. So, without further ado, let's do this! So we've got St. Mocianne's unlocked for quite a while now, actually. It's gonna take a tiny bit, so while we wait, let me just go ahead and start off Record Keeper while we're at it. Right now I was actually... whoops. That's not what I meant to do. I was actually doing the quest for the Namazut Beast Tribe as a fisherman, actually. So, not anything particularly riveting, but that's pretty much what I've been focused on right now. What with my miner and botanist maxed out, I haven't had so much to work on lately. Which is why I'm pretty excited to actually get some progress tonight. Okay, Record Keeper is just about ready, so let's swap up. Nice, huh? So I've had this new UI for us prepared, which will allow us to actually enjoy this game a tiny bit better. So I haven't had quite a lot planned, but I can probably attempt a nightmare dungeon. I've been trying to complete quite a few of these, and I've been having a tough time. Oh, but it seems that this won't be an issue, because we are already ready for that dungeon. So let's swap back. We can get back to it either way, we'll probably have to wait a little for the trial. Gotta say, that's quick. Healer Q really surprises me these days. Anywho, as usual, we'll be only looking at the cutscenes once we're done, but we're on a roll right now, so let's do this. So basically, the gist behind this dungeon, apparently the Arboretum has been leaking out plant life that is covered in mud, which the people from Idleshire found really strange. So that is pretty much what we're looking into by going back to said dungeon. So here we are teaming up with a warrior, a dragoon, as well as a summoner. Interesting. There we go, first pull. And a multi-one at that, sweet. Got those giant things all covered in mud, which will pretty much be the main mechanic of this particular dungeon. Right, that is done. Time for holy spam. Alright, let's try to help him out a little. Or her, rather. Kind of a pretty big AoE there, though. One of the things that I found the most rewarding about this particular game is that every enemy is so big that it feels really neat when they do a thump on the ground. Although there are better games for that, like for instance Terra, I still feel like this one is pretty much the one with the better mechanics overall. I haven't had much fun trying out Terra, to be honest. What's neat is that those Belladonnas, of which one was the boss of the original St. Mocianne's, are actually using the Front Fatale iconic move, which requires you to look away. Color is a tiny bit different. Looks more like it's autumn. But you know the thing about Mociannes is that I'm constantly mispronouncing it as Mocianne. That always seemed to make more sense as a name to me, but apparently it's Mociannes. I've actually just noticed that recently. Took me forever. Well, we're gonna see much else here, so might as well go into Holy Spam. Ah, so satisfying. Should probably pop Lucid Dreaming though. That would help. And apparently that giant marble just crumbled into dust. Good. I don't like marbles. And we've got our first boss, the Nulchu. Nothing too particular about this one, standard mechanics. Only thing to really watch out for is when he summons an ad and he jumps to heat it. Then you'll actually have to deal with a few things, among others, a giant line AoE that's really tough to avoid. Line Whip, what is this, Pokemon? Okay, the ad is here. Once he goes to devour it, we'll be ready. Time to stack. Alright. Devour. Let's go. Awesome. I keep looking at its booty, though. Whoops. I'm such an idiot. But I really wanted to know what it did. You can't Isuna at this, by the way, which is why I'm not bothering. Devour. Well played. So much booty. Oh. Now what is that? Well. Okay, going into Devour. I'll be just in time. Wonder if that thing got rescued. It was a little slow there. Well, I suppose it doesn't matter. Alright! Awesome. Rogan Ninja. This I can actually make use of, though. Oh! Would never have guessed that was the path. Then again, I suppose the map showed it. So, second part. This guy actually has an enormous AoE that turns you into plants for 10 seconds, based on the video that I saw. So, I'll just have to be mindful of that. Not in a hurry, is he? I'm a pocket. Good. Oh. We're doing a big pull, are we? Well, I was nowhere ready for that. Oh well, no matter. Out of the way. Apparently this affects enemies too. Which is surprising. Whoopsie. Holy spam. Okay, good. The thing that they actually saw going out of the Arboretum is actually that thing over there. Just brown. Richard Kaluk. Huh. Did I see those? I feel like I did during the Black Mage quest. Well, dearie, I'm gonna need you to stay in range. Got it? That went well. You're seeing the Demi Bahamut there, which is the new toy that summoners got within Stormblood. Having tied to Bahamut feels wrong somehow. But then again, I suppose summoners usually have something of a signature summon. Although that's not the case for every one of them. I'm thinking Rydia among others. Rolly Polly was also the name of an enemy in Chrono Trigger, if I recall. Alright, second boss. That's Lakamu. This one is a tiny bit more complicated. Not overly so, but still. From what I heard, this might actually be, how can I say, part of the latest dungeon roulette, although I may be wrong. Okay, that's the one. Huh? Would probably want to be pushed somewhere around here. Okay, didn't fall into the Torn. The push of this thing, they're gonna push you in the directions of the arrows, whereas they'll actually push you up to about half of the arena. Here we can see the Torden Quake, although a tiny bit bigger this time around. Then I suppose she ought to have her own signature move, I suppose. That one is mean, though. Not the Quake, I mean that thing. Empty gaze, don't look. Ah. That should do. Open. I'm kinda cutting it close, am I? Wouldn't be able to tell that this is my first time, eh? Summoner got hit by something. Huh? Well, I don't care, she's dead. Good. Need any of those? Item level is fairly competitive there. Interesting. Okay, environmental control. This one is actually interesting. At least once we get to the point where I think we are. Just hoping the Rathalos actually takes longer, because we might end up doing main quest toward the end of this. Or maybe turning it early, that's not clear yet. Ah. Interesting. That's right, I need to throw these things, I always forget. Muddy Mata, eh? For a second there, I thought I saw an eye marker. That's never good. Seems like that dragoon has a move that I don't know about, which is actually, I suppose, referring to the two eyes of Nidhogg. This seems to be buffing the tank somehow, as well as himself. Kyuubi Tamer. What the heck's a Kyuubi? I wonder. Alright. Awesome. It's too bad that my black mage is all geared up. This could have been useful. Okay, these things. You've actually got these water conduit here, which you can use to wash away the mud from the mobs, which will make them easier to handle. Bring them here, dude. Come on. All clean, except for that one. Alright, that's better. Yay, we're doing mechanics! Wonder why you had to switch. Maybe the Bahamut forces you to resummon your Eggy. That's actually something that I've never really explained. Eggy are basically pieces of a primal that can be controlled and that aren't harmful to Eorzea as a whole. That's an old Allagan, how can I say, discipline, if you will. Allagans have kind of found ways to pretty much entirely neutralize primals, with the exception of Bahamut, which was mostly handled by the Omega weapon. Goldsmith, I need that. Alright, last boss. That was quick. This one is actually interesting, I feel like. So you've got those platforms as well as that grate, and most of the attacks with this guy actually involves the grate in some manner. You'll see once we get there. But that's a derpy looking boss if I've ever seen one. Takapshi. Okay, so the mod is moving there, and the only safe spot here is actually on those platforms that are green over there. That is done, we can get back. These things will actually leave puddles behind and will fall through the grate, so you actually do not want to stand on the green while you have that. And it seems to be fairly quick as far as cast goes. The guy gets damaged way quickly. Mud pie, what was this again? Forget. Oh yeah, that thing. So basically you need to juggle that mob so it doesn't get hit by the attacks of the boss, otherwise it's gonna blow up in your face at some point and it's not gonna be pretty. If it stays small though, it's gonna pretty much blow up in a small radius and it won't be too much of a problem. Like right now, for instance, if we were attacked through that thing and the little slime was actually hit by that, well, it would grow. Fog bequest. This I'm not sure we could have done much about, although it was blowing up, so it's probably okay. We've got 2 ads. Those can be killed, I believe. White Mage tank, go! So far, so good. This. Not the mud slime. Damn it. I don't have anything that's fast enough for this. Gonna get big. Time for a limit break, Dragoon. Damn it. On myself. Because I was in danger. And I can limit break what with being a white mage and all. Appears somebody did limit break. Cool. Bye. I like that tank. She was cool. I think it's a she. Oh, a mud pie pet. Doubtful I'll get it. Somebody rolled 53. Oh well, that happens. 1 commendation. Feel like I deserve more, maybe. Meh. Let's try not to be too full of ourselves. So there was this thing. You can have a closer look here. Looks fairly derpy if you ask me. So, Sonny. Fresh air at last. I tell you, it's clammier than a goblin's arse crack in there. I got out a few months ago, but I won't be going back in anytime soon. I saw that you'd cleared the path for Midnight Dew and Edgit, though. Hopefully they'll be on their way back about now. Edgit is actually the NPC you deal with during the Botanist questline. Wasn't aware that I had actually saw her before. Might just be some sort of cameo, maybe. There she is, even in her new suit. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Hard! How wonderful it is to see you again. Although I must say I'm dreadfully sorry for all the trouble we've put you through, especially considering how much you've helped us at Green Grub mud plots already. Thanks to you, we've made a valuable discovery. You see, the research materials we found mention a concoction for rapidly turning plant matter into compost. It seems the mud was used to cultivate the ingredients for the formula. There was just one minor oversight, and by minor, I mean quite major. Actually, this mud also causes alarming behavioral swings in seedkin, making them go positively berserk. Growth formula for plants is all well and good, unless they're the sort that's liable to bite your bloody head off. Yes, I'm surprised the Charlians didn't keep it in a safer place. In any case, we can use their findings to breathe new life into the soil of Dravania. As for the seedkins, a little water washes the mud right off. Allow me to demonstrate. She just wanted to splash the cute little thing. I'm sure of it. It gets derpy. Aww. All better. Whee! A shame you can't wash that stupid expression off its face as well. Well, I think pruning is a little much. I went hard on this one. Covered in muck or not, it's a bleeding nuisance either way. Now, leave the poor thing alone. I'm sure it'll behave itself. And more importantly, it looks like we found a way to improve our dwindling harvests. And we couldn't have done it without you, Harn. I'll make sure that when the locals start tucking into all these lovely crops, they'll know who to thank. You'll take all the credit. Don't lie. Oh well, we're both Rogan, so I guess that's okay. I'm a little small compared to her, though. Might have gone a little bit high on the slider, and me a little low. Well, so that is done. We can... Do I need to actually get back to her? Doesn't look like it. So that means I can get back to Kugane and have a look at those cutscenes. Getting a little paranoid, always checking if my sound is on. Got muted once, not happening again. Actually, there's a story about that. The very first stream test that I did actually ended up having me play for about an hour and a half with no voice whatsoever. There was an issue with my mics. I pretty much ended up doing the old thing without realizing. That wasn't great. Thankfully, all of those that you guys actually see actually do have sound. So, anyway, duty. St. Mocianne's. This also helps me for the thumbnail, in case you hadn't noticed. Time to see our mud pie friend. Looks mad. Was that a crown on his head? Looked more like a plant while I was fighting him. I must be imagining things. Well, it's a plant that kind of looks like a crown. So halfway there, then. Oh. Well, that helps. Aha! Wonder how many I'm actually missing to actually get access to level 70 roulette. Just missing the one, huh? Well, ain't that lovely. So, as it turns out, our breadcrumb quest here for the Monster Hunter crossover is actually right here in Kugane. Right outside of Bukharo, actually. But there we are. Hearty Hunter. The hunter's unbridled enthusiasm can mean only one thing. The hunt is on. The new king on the block. Hearty Hunter. Well, well, if it isn't my old rival, Hardrain. Come at last to learn from a true hunter of elite marks, have you? Forgive me if I seem overly presumptuous. Being the renowned hunter that you are, I've always considered you to be a rival of sorts. A little healthy competition goes a long way in keeping one's skills sharp, you know? Aye, but a hunter ain't worth shite without a smithy to keep him armed and armored. You'll have to excuse him. He's never been one for social graces, but he's a damn fine hunter, and what he brings back to the forge keeps me in business. Who has time for grace when game is afoot? Which reminds me, I have news of a quarry that may pique your interest. I recently came across a rather peculiar bill on the clan hunt board. Here, have a look. Huh. Looks odd. Doesn't even look Eorzean, really. The bill depicts a crimson wyvern unlike anything you have ever seen. Unfortunately, further reading of the bill reveals nothing of its origins. Strange, isn't it? Not only is the drawing unabashedly crude, the bill itself lacks the formality expected of anything approved by the Centurial clan. Still, a bounty is a bounty. Before setting out, though, I thought it wise to first confirm the details of the request, and therein lies the rub. The clansmen weren't even aware this bill had been posted, likely the escapades of some mischievous youth, they said. But if this beast truly is out there somewhere, what manner of hunter would I be if I didn't go and find out? And from what I've been told, you're never one to back down from a chance at adventure, so how about it? Will you take up the hunt? Well, surely will. Count me in. Every bit the thrill seeker I marked you for. Glad to hear it. To make things a little more interesting, what do you say we make this a race, eh? To see who can slay it first. I'll even give you a hint to get you on your way. The beast we're after is a Rathalos. King of the Skies, they call it. From what I've gathered, it was last spotted somewhere around the Azim Steppe. You're like to learn more if you speak with the locals at Reunion. As for me, I still need to prepare before I head out, so consider this a head start. Good luck, Hard, and may the best hunter wins. He does look motivated. That armor is fancy. Probably a monster hunter one. Quest accepted. Okay, so off there to Reunion. These guys are way too motivated. Funny thing is that I actually know somebody at work that actually plays, or rather played Monster Hunter World. So he actually got to experience the other half of the crossover. I'll also speak more of the details about that later. Wayfaring Ka Hunter. Regarding to a red wyvern, I'm sorry miss, but I'm not overly familiar with the comings and going of this place. I only visit on occasion to do a small bit of business. Perhaps you should speak with the questier, though speak is perhaps not the right word, seeing as they do not. At any rate, you will find none more knowledgeable of the happenings in the Azim Steppe. Alright. Apprehensive Ori Traveler. A red wyvern named Rathalos? Oh dear. Perhaps the story I heard was true then, of a young man from the Ura clan leading a flock of Zos down from the mountains. He was making his way to Reunion when a fierce wind began to blow, a terrible howling gale which left him all but blinded. To his horror, he soon realized the deafening roar he heard was not of the wind's making. He claimed it was that of a great wyvern, which descended from on high to claim several Zos from his flock, disappearing into the sky as quickly as it came. Needless to say, he ran to Reunion with all haste, telling everyone of what had happened, but the man is a known liar and a swindler. Who would believe such a tale coming from him? Apparently I would. So, possibly a quest here we're looking for. Adamant Oroniri Warrior. Red wyvern by the name of Rathalos. I'm sorry, but you must be mistaken. I've heard stories of a great wyvern that slumbers in the mountains to the north, but it was not red, and most certainly does not go by that name. Still, if this Rathalos you speak of truly exists, slaying such a beast would bring great honor to my tribe. Mark my words, this beast will fall by a blade of the Oronir. Okay. Damn, itchy ear. So, quest here, lookout then. As we remember, none of the quests here actually talk because they believe everything is lies. Upon hearing of a red wyvern, the quest-hero merchant takes on a grave expression. The quest-hero merchant points southwestward. Perhaps you will find some clue of the wyvern's whereabouts in that direction. Alright. Lying on my goboo here, from the Sylph Beast tribe. The fact that he kinda does the helicopter with his arm is actually kinda funny. Well, with his hands at least. There we are. You arrive at the area the quest-hero merchant appeared to be indicating. All you can do now is lie in wait for your prey. Huh? What's this? Oh, a hunter! And a formidable looking one at that! Have you come to help then? To hunt the meowster Rathalos, fashionable feline. After seeing the bounty, I couldn't resist. Thank you, miss. Thank you. I knew I was right to post that bill. I'm an apprentice feline hunter, and I've come to this place in search of meowsters. Rathalos to be precise. But even with 9 lives, I could never slay one of my own. That's why I posted that notice seeking help. There's a reason they are often referred to as King of the Skies, after all. Some also call them fire wyverns on account of their ability to breathe fire. I feel awful just thinking about all the hunters who burned to cinders in their wake. Yes, and they roar exactly like that. Would you believe it's powerful enough to stun their prey? Whoa! I think we've got a thumbnail. Doesn't feel like fighting then. That was him! That was Rathalos! Still willing to help, I hope. What a day! What a day! Both a meowsters and a ferocious hunter to slay it. I sure got the cream today. Let's hurry. You seem to be heading northwest back into the mountains. Oh god, I can't do this. The puns. Oh, before I forget, I never did ask your name. Nice to meet you, Hard. Now let's be off. So the felines, they're basically the cat helpers from the Monster Hunter franchise. A lot more towards the cutesy side of anthropomorphized animal, despite this game having quite a few of them. Anywho. Okay, all the way close to Bardam's medal. Wow. I got lame chocobo to fly too. Oh wow. Now what is that? Oh, it's those Namazu from that quest. There we are. Hey, the Rathalos somewhere along that path, I just know it. But I'm afraid you'll have to go without me, as I am right meow. I fear I'd only slow you down. Before you go though, I insist you take these with you. When catastrophe strikes, a hunter should never be without mega potions. I don't know if you normally keep medicine on hand to treat your wounds, but I guarantee you've never had anything quite like that. Quite, it fills you to full health, about 10 times, compared to what we actually do, which is actually heal it. When you and your friends are ready, head on in. You do have friends to help, right? Yeah, I do. Well, not so much friends as strangers. 8? I thought hunters usually fight in groups of 4. Well, I suppose you know best. Which is actually interesting because the extreme version is actually only 4-player. Because yes, there are 2 versions of this actually. During the battle of the Great Hunt, you will gain access to the duty action Mega Potion. Be advised that while it can be used to restore a large amount of HP, its usage is limited. Upon clearing the duty, you can claim a special reward by examining the remains of the Rathalos. Be certain to do so before leaving the instance. And apparently a lot of people don't. So bad. If you find yourself in a pinch, don't forget to use that Mega Potion. So let's go ahead and pop that trial then. The Great Hunt. Shouldn't be too long as well, so let's see if we can have some record keeper going. Back to where we were. Ah, so the thing I was looking at is actually the Dervish Nightmare Dungeons. Next one was actually Garuda, which from what I recall, I've got afflicted with slow and it's weak to wind attack, which is great because I've got Barbarisio, who's a powerhouse. This should be fairly simple. I used not to be able to do 140 fights, but now I can. I've got so much spells now, it's kind of difficult to find everything I want. Also managed to unlock Meltdown, which was a big upgrade for me. Well, it seems that that move does something where it pretty much, how can I say, deals the best amount of damage possible based on a number of elements, so that's helpful. Ah, for her. I want Tundaja. No, it's Chain Tundaga that I want. Right here. These should be fine. As for her, Maya isn't the best choice, but then again, I suppose she'll do. Chain Wateraga. Alright, let's do this. I've been pretty much relying on Yuna as my primary healer these days, so things have gotten a little easier because before I didn't use any of them. Right now I'm actually looking for a particular type of roaming warrior, which can be difficult to find at time. Seems like whenever I'm home or during the time I'm on the bus, I don't usually get the type that I want. Hyper Mighty G is good, but it doesn't help me with resistance. Thankfully you can do this thing here. Nope. Felyne, I got no luck. Divine Veil Grimoire, that will do. So, going against Garuda. Right over there is Dr. Mog, the mentor of Tyro, the main character. Although this game doesn't have much in the way of story. Alright. Run is basically the usual one. Set up your shield. Right now, everything is pretty much slowed down because I actually want to actually have some control over what goes on, which is pretty useful for Nightmare. I increased it a bit so it's more interesting to watch. Lunatic High with the Soul Break, this will help me get protected. Doesn't seem like we're doing much aside from actually using wind. Oh well, no matter. Ouchie. I'm barely doing anything. But then again, I'm not taking so much damage, which is good. Let's have a Shelga just in case. But I'm doing massive damage with that meltdown. Wow! She got hit pretty hard, didn't she? I didn't notice that. That might cost me. Alright, 10 it's a fight. By slowing it down, I've pretty much made it so that she can't really deal too much damage to me. Which is probably what saved Maya here. Meltdown. Awesome. 10 it's a fight. This is a neat move. It heals up everybody, also allowing you to summon Valefor for higher damage, as well as re-heal up your characters throughout the various turns. We are still missing 2 tanks right now. We are nearly full on DPS. Whoops. Got the wrong one. I wanted to heal Maya. Well, no matter. Summoning Valefor. So he's ready. So if I reactivate that move, she'll actually hit much harder. Ash can do much because I forgot to unequip her Dispel. That's a mess up on my part. Wrath of the Heavens. My problem with Maya right now is that she doesn't have a particularly good Soul Break. Although, Valefor will attack even if you use your heal, though. So that's sweet. Tsunami, by summoning Leviathan, obviously. Okay. Oh, I could have used Whirlwind. Oh well, no matter. He's done anyway. Awesome. Got no sun right now, although the game does have it. Have Final Fantasy on another window, so. Alright, managed to get another one done. Cool. Major Wind Orb. Wind Crystal. Crystals are hard to get a hold of. That's kind of holding me back a bit. Not overly so, but a bit. We've lost a few DPS. That's too bad. I used to think that Sentinel Grimoire was actually better than that one. Now I'm not so sure. Is it worth trying the Airyman with what I have? Oh well, got nothing to lose. So let's see. Afflict it with Slow. Exploit his weakness to Holy. About the same. Alright. I've got some Holy, but not a whole lot of it. That's the one that I need for Shelga. Then again, he doesn't use a lot of melee moves, so I should be fine. So, Dedia. Which is basically powered up Holy. She'll probably be fine with these. We'll swap Ash so that she can actually use Holy type moves. We've got Medine among others, which should help out. Or that other one. Don't I have access to Holy on her? I don't. Well, that's lame. Oh well, no matter. As for these, Chain Water God doesn't seem to be helping me much. So might as well have Bahamut here. We are nearly there. Cool. Okay, so what am I looking for? Divine Benison. Close, but not what I need. Thunder Echo. 2 of them. Cool. The next thing I need to unlock the next step of challenges in this, or rather the Book of Trials, is to actually complete a nightmare challenge that is up to 160 in difficulty, which is something that I'm having a little trouble with right now. Felt like my characters were too weak, although I seems to be doing significantly better than I used to. Okay, you slow that down. You. Ooh. Trial is ready. Let's switch back. Whoops, somebody has withdrawn. Well, that's lame. Probably won't take long. Huh. The interview will require 8. I'm only seeing the party up to... Oh, okay, that's actually 8. Got surprised all of a sudden. Anywho. So, where was I? Okay, this. Now the problem here is that Maya got confused, which means that she won't be of any use to me until I actually hit her or she get hit. Using that soul break, I've managed to get Shelga and haste on my guys. At least I think it had haste. I hope so. At the very least, this one will. Okay, that is done. I can use Dedi on him. He doesn't seem to be so bad. You attack Maya to bring her back online. Doesn't seem like our wind did much to him, or a holy damage at all. Doom. Ew, I don't have anything to resurrect anybody. That could be troublesome. Full break. This reduces basically every stat that he has, and also stacks with the breakdown spells or break, such as they are. I would kind of like Barbarisia to get her soul break soon. That will help me immensely. Is it time for Tenet to fight? Man, not really. But she can help me identify those clones here. Surely I think you always know which one is the right one. But that may not be a problem anyway. Red X can't actually touch him, so... He's not gonna touch you or nothing. Been watching some cows crazy lately. So anyway, need to move that here. We are ready. Somebody joined that hunt link shell that I joined. Good for him. Been wanting that for a while. Usually I would want during these laws to actually do hunts, but now that I've set up Record Keeper, well, I can actually do some things when I still have some stamina. Ah, damn it. Well, at least it popped right away. Come on. I know I do that all the time when I'm fishing, but come on. We can watch the cutscene later. Hi! Here we've got our Mega Potion button. I doubt we're gonna need it much though. So there's our pal, the Rathalos. Probably music from Monster Hunter itself. Frankly, this is much easier as a ranged character or a healer in this particular case. Oh yeah, I forgot about Protect. Did I use Protect in the last dungeon? Not sure. Ready. Okay, this guy is the main tank. Let's do this. Wow. That other heel got his bum kicked. It's pretty hard. Not overly so, but a fair bit. Got everybody stunned. So now we've got a bunch of mobs that are appearing. Some people would probably attack them, but apparently they damage the boss too. So, figure might as well let them there. Oh, big telegraph there. I'm somewhere I shouldn't be. Yep. Ouchies. I almost got wrecked. Feels rather ponderous compared to the usual bosses we see. Damn it. Well, that wasn't my fault. Oh, we've got the gorilla here. So here's something special here. Somebody's gonna actually have to go to his feet to do an action event. The others will actually have to damage Garula as much as possible. Seems like the off-tank is actually taking care of that. So it is up to us to defeat that thing. Garula, an iconic monster that we saw in Bardam's Medal as well as in Final Fantasy V. Okay, we are there. So the idea is to basically hide behind that thing because he's gonna breathe fire on you. And the other healer didn't catch that. As well as that summoner. Which we could potentially have used. We are basically waiting for the down gauge to get up so that we can actually bring him down and damage him. Which is something we cannot do at the moment. I'm stunned. This could be troublesome. Use those potions, people. Okay. Coheal managed to get that right. Whoa. Tank is getting wrecked. Okay. Get the Dragoon back up. Whoopsie. Okay. So that thing is gonna stay there a while, and usually, because the arena kind of fills with these, well, you probably want to actually... Well, this ain't working. Okay, that's why the Mega Potions actually allows you to get past these things. So we've got to basically blow up the tail, which which is probably an iconic weakness of the creature. If we can manage to take it down, we'll get to the other. But it appears we failed the DPS check. It appears that we can't heal somehow. None of the heals I'm doing are having any impact. Ouchies. Another potion. Yeah, it ain't doing nothing. Okay, only your potions can heal now. Somebody in the chat is actually saying it. Well, I am out of MP. Let us get that tail. Okay, he is down. Time to DPS. Time for a limit break as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's a pretty different type of trial, I've got to admit. That guy didn't get the memo. Okay, he's down. No tail? Okay, that's what they meant by the time to limit break. We've done it! We've defeated our first Rathalos. Goodbye. That Sholing guy, he's the one who did the action thing, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, in order to actually get your reward for this, you need to get a scale of the tail. Apparently the feline actually tells you, but yeah. I'm seeing a lot of people with last name from the tribes of Stormblood. Among others, we've got a quest here. I've also seen another one. I think it's the Dautarl. I've got 2-player recommendation, which isn't bad. And there's our feline friend. I saw the whole thing. That was meownificent. You even managed to retrieve a scale from his remains. I'm so impressed. I realize this is sudden, but it would mean so much to me if I could join you on more adventure. Would you accept me as your palico? Would be my pleasure. I promise to be the perfect companion. You won't regret this. And to think this is all because you saw my bill on the hunt board. A hunter in Kugane showed it to you. Curious. Do you think we could go and pay them a visit? If not for this hunter, we never would have met. Then let us be off to Kugane. Seems they aren't really mentioning the monster hunter side, because there's a bit of story going on there. I'm not gonna spoil it just yet, I'm just gonna finish actually talking to that hunter. But here's another story. I actually bought a Monster Hunter game for the 3DS at some point. Bought it in the shop because I wanted to try it, because I thought it looked interesting. Although for some reason my head couldn't process the fact that I didn't seem to be doing any damage to the boss themselves. It took a while, and for me to talk to one of my coworkers to actually understand how the game was actually supposed to work. It's normal to spend, I don't know, 15 minutes on a boss trying to take a beast down, which was something that I hadn't quite understood. I was basically going through areas and chasing some sort of raptor bird or whatnot. So yeah, I was really confused. And I got killed like nothing. Didn't even slay one. That should do it. I'm warmed up and ready to go hunting. I'm already done, dude. Oh, hard! I thought you'd left or you'd already left. With my preparations complete, you'll need to work fast if you mean to beat me. You've only finished finished preparing. What is that? Another monster in need of slaying? I'm no meowster, you brute. I'm Heart's faithful and dependable Palico. Palico? My apologies. If you're as dependable as you are adorable, I've no doubt she values your companionship. But let's return to the matter at hand, shall we? Hard, are you ready to set out on our hunt for the Rathalos? You've already slain him! Hahaha, I'd expect nothing less from my rival. Indeed, you're every bit the hunter I imagined you'd be. Suppose that's what you get for that extra set of squats. Tell me, friend, were you able to recover anything from the body? As a matter of fact, she carved a scale off the Rathalos' hide. That's mighty fine material for smithing. Mind if I have a look? Aye, this is wyvern scales, alright. Light as a feather and tougher than steel. There's still a touch of heat to it, too. If you'd like, I'd be more than willing to fashion you some armor with it. I'll need more than a single scale, of course. You'll find no better mail than that forged with Rathalos scales. What do you say? I'm kind of a white mage. I don't wear much armor. Oh, Hard, I can't thank you enough for your help in slaying that Rathalos. If you plan to go hunting again, don't hesitate to call. We'll show these meowsters what for. That is done, I get access to a Palico pet, as well as some indoor barbecue spit, which are apparently something of an iconic thing from that series. I also saw it in Hyper Devotion Noir with the character that was actually based on that series. You can now trade Rathalos scales to the smithy in exchange for various goods. Rathalos scales can be obtained by defeating the Rathalos in the Great Hunt. The new king on the block. Off to another hunt, are we? Be sure to leave a few marks for the rest of us. And that one must be for the extreme version, I suppose. Yeah, the newer king on the block. But I'm not in any hurry for that. So yeah, basically the thing that I didn't explain in this is that basically what happened is that the Asians actually switch creatures from the world of Monster Hunter and those of Final Fantasy XIV. So basically what they did is that they took a behemoth and actually summoned it to the world of Monster Hunter and swapped the Rathalos with them, if I'm not mistaken. So this might explain how that cat even got there, but who knows. Probably was just about as nonsensical on the other side. Meh. Anyway, let's have a look at those other cutscenes, and we are way ahead of time. Wow. I didn't expect this to be over so quickly. It made me work for the Rana lighthouse, so kind of gotten my expectations high here. So, the Great Hunt. Overall, the fight was pretty easy, although the telegraph for its spinning move is kind of difficult to see. And now for the death scene. Bam. Duty complete! Hey, kitty. Well, wasn't that nice? So anyway, I suppose we've got a bit of time to actually do some main quest. Although beforehand, I would actually like us to finish that fight in Record Keeper, so let's do that. Let me just swap this around. Okay. So where were we now? Ah. Maya was getting wrecked, that's what. Wow. That clone is... wow. Ah, takes more damage from Holy though. Tenets of Fight. This won't do much for me. Might as well renew that thing here. Oh. He draws near. Oh. Just when I skip his turn too. Ash is being boosted, what with this boss actually being from Final Fantasy X too. Tandaga. Oh, switching again, is he? Well. So much for that. I suppose we can go ahead and summon Velafor now. Bam! That hit hard! Oh, well that's good. I had completely forgotten that this is what I did. Hashtag goldfish. Let's use Leviathan. This doesn't do much for me. Let's defend then. Okay, Soulbreak. Sweet. Whirlwind. Seems I might be able to face more challenges than I initially thought. I suppose leveling those characters was actually worth it. Everyman draws near. Just in time for red 13 to do something. And bam. This will infuse me with the power of the wind, making her deal more damage, but I suppose that won't be an issue now that this guy is nearly dead. Oh, and Thunder Echo to boot. That's gonna hurt. Hey, he wasn't even dead. Oh well, Tsunami is gonna kill him. Awesome. I'll probably have that on Master Rank, cool. Although it did take quite a while, but then again, they're fairly generous on that. Oh yeah. That's the stuff. Some fight I actually haven't managed to master despite having managed to complete them. Been working on that today. Been doing pretty well. Some have been easier than others though. Okay, that is done. We'll need only one to actually unlock the final boss of this, but let's switch back to Final Fantasy now. Okay, so where were we for the main quest? I think we were somewhere close to Isari, if I'm not mistaken. That means going to Onokoro. Because last time we've actually finished the Byakko trial, which will lead us to Suzaku, but I don't think my gear is high enough for that. I'm missing about one. And I think I've also gotten the Monster Hunter title, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, my gear is actually high enough for Suzaku. Well, it doesn't matter either way, because I actually wanted to... Yeah, I got that title. I actually wanted us to get started on the Omega Alphascape soon. So that's probably what we're going to do on Saturday. actually learned a new mechanic for fishing in this, which is called spearfishing. Basically, you find nodes of water and they actually blow bubbles outside. When that happens, you need to use your spear with the right spearhead to actually get them. I think that's interesting. At times fishing gets boring. Not that this isn't much more fun, but still, adds a little variety, and variety is sorely needed. The thing I've learned though, it seems I won't be able to actually do much on my goldsmith, at least for the Namazu tribe, what with me not having the other crafters leveled. This is one of the things I'll need to look into. Elation and trepidation. Yugiri is eager to see Gusetsu safely back to their master. We must meet with Lord Heian as soon as possible, though mayhap not at the Enclave. I will send word requesting that he receives us at the House of the Fierce, where there are fewer prying eyes. And the more zealous ones. If all are in agreement, I shall scout ahead and see that the way is clear. Pray follow as swiftly as you are able, and join me on the outskirts of Mai. And off they go. Rather a peculiar party. An elderly Rogadin, a Heer woman, and 2 elf child with an Ori woman. Or ninja, rather. Anywho. So, back to Namai. Oh, that silly egg that I got from the Easter event. As you can see, it is not the most fashionable way to travel. It does have that chocobo thing. It was rather silly. The quest for that was total nonsense. But the papaya music was actually neat. There we go. All is well. Good. The others are hiding nearby. Let us proceed. Quietly, if you please.
My Lord Heian, I am returned.
Save your tears for the morrow. For we who yet walk the path should not think too much on the destination. When the hour arrives, we shall welcome what comes with open arms. And welcome it you did, even as the keep fell down around us. At that moment, in your smile, I spied a shred of hope. One which I have clung to ever since.
A little dramatic, isn't he?
Gosetsu, full glad am I to see you alive and well.
We have played this scene before, have we not? Though this time our roles are reversed.
That they are. Meaning you know how I feel. Wholly at a loss for words. Welcome back, old friend. Now then, though we rejoice at your return, it seems you have brought with you certain complications. Rise, my friend. Tell me everything.
This is rather boring for me. I don't get to do voices. Not that I do many.
The Empire is bold indeed to send a token force to engage the Confederacy.
As acting Viceroy, Yotsuyu would have been privy to Imperial secrets. The Garleans will not soon give up the chase.
Nay, it will end with her capture, or her death.
Are you a friend, too?
She claims to have lost her memory, though I know not if she speaks true. I brought her here that you might decide her fate.
Lost her memory, you say? Regardless, the people have not forgotten. Her face yet haunts their dreams. She cannot roam free. We will hold her here for a time. Place her in Jufia's care, with the express instruction that she is not to be seen.
Yes, my lord. Come.
No, I don't want to. Don't let her take me away!
It's all right, Suyu. I will come with you. Be a good girl, and listen to Yugiri.
The way she tied her hat is rather stupid. I didn't notice last time, but now it's dead obvious.
From a hound at his throat to a puppy at his heel. If this is an act, it is a remarkable performance.
I gotta say it's rather lame. Those two should be dead. Oh well, they'll probably have use later on. Thank you for delivering Gusetsu back to us in one piece. We're all lucky indeed to have friends who would journey to the other side of the world to help us, and repeatedly at that. We have much and more to think upon, but as regards the Empire, we can but watch and wait. Now then, seeing as you've come all this way, you must allow me to show you around the Enclave. I would not have you thinking we've been idle in your absence. The rebuilding effort proceeds apace, I'm pleased to say, and we are now ready to welcome home our countrymen who were displaced by the war, should they so desire it. There is a place here for those who fled to Eorzea. We should be delighted to accept your invitation, Lord Hien, and I have no doubt that your subjects at Revenant's Toll will be heartened to hear that their lord has not forgotten them. Oh, it's nothing. I just thought that Gusetsu and Yugiri would be back by now. Forgive me, my lord, but Captain Jifuya was nowhere to be found. Oh? He was here when I arrived. For now, we have taken Yatsuyu to a private chamber and assigned another to watch over her, my lord, but I find it passing strange that Captain should leave his post, with nary a word. That does seem most unusual. If you mean to look for the man, we would be happy to assist you. We should be glad of the help. While I search without, mayhap you could ask our soldiers here if they know anything. I will join you. With respect, my lord, you should remain here. Should the Empire move against us, you will be better able to coordinate our response. Huh, and there I was thinking I was in charge, but you have the right of it. Go on then, I will mind the house. You know the funny thing? I've actually had to come here on another occasion, and I've actually talked with the NPC to see what they were saying. And as it turns out, they actually spoke like she was still here. Which was a tiny bit strange. All here know Jifuya well. His movements will not have gone unnoticed. Haname. You see, the captain, he passed by a while ago. I wondered if I should tell someone. As it happens, he did not look well, you see. I asked if aught was the matter, and he told me that the past had caught up with him. But I doubt it was that. There are older men in our ranks. What's Ulfino messing around here? It should come as no surprise, but a number of the soldiers here were unsettled by Yatsuyu's arrival. Thankfully, Lord Hien was able to put their minds at ease. For now. Kaidate. Captain Jifuya? He was headed for the northern entrance when I last saw him. I was going to invite him to train with us, but he did not hear me call out to him. If you need him, I dare say the sentry on duty will be able to tell you more. Indeed, I suggested as much to Mistress Alize when she came asking earlier. Is something amiss? Apparently so. Got a ticking time bomb here. There he is. I see the trail led you here as well. The man says he saw Jifuya leave. Aye, the captain went outside some few bells ago, and looking quite unwell, I'm sorry to say. This I mentioned to Lord Gusetsu, who straightaway struck out after him. I hope they will be alright. Liberation Front sentry. Gusetsu too? It seems everyone is bent on joining the search. That's all well and good, but someone has to stay behind. There's no telling what the Empire is plotting. You go on, Hard. Alphino and I shall hold the fort. Captain went outside looking quite unwell. Yeah. Oh, Ifrit pony. So what do we got here? There he is. Cowering too.
Ah! By the Kami! Your Lord Ian! Leave me! Leave me, I beg of you. Say nothing of this. I was never here.
There you are.
Lady Yugiri, Lord Gusetsu, forgive me my abrupt disappearance.
You have your reasons, I am sure. Will you not share them?
I was her master when she was yet a courtesan.
By the Kami.
She worked in my establishment. Her father was a regular client of mine. One day, quite without preamble, he offered to sell her to me. Now, she may be no maiden, he said, but she has some use left in her. He sold her short. When I first beheld her, I was struck by her beauty. And yet, behind her eyes there was an emptiness. It was as if she had given up on life. She seemed more a doll than a woman. It was no profession for her. But I knew she would be popular. And so it proved. Men flocked to drown themselves in that cold, bottomless gaze. The rest you know. She became an Imperial informant, and for her loyal service won the office of acting Viceroy.
While you came to serve the Liberation Front.
'Tis said that the atrocities Yotsuyu committed were driven by vengeance. If so, I bear part of the blame for creating the monster she became. Joining the front was meant to be my atonement. But the truth is, I am a coward, whose only thought was to escape her wrath. Then as now.
I see. Then I shall recommend that you be assigned to a new post. I trust you have no objections, Yugiri?
None. It would not do to leave Yotsuyu in his care.
I am in your debt.
Kind of figured as much.
Who is it that you seek to protect, Gosetsu? Idle musings. Pray, pay me no mind.
Forgive me, now is not the time for brooding. Come, let us rejoin the others. So back to the House of the Fierce. We'll go faster that way. Well, ain't that the gathering? Jifuya can be the only one here with a mortal fear of Yatsuyu. She tormented these people. That her mere presence should sow such strife. Lord Heian and Master Alphino look troubled. Something is afoot. Everyone is here. Good, there have been developments that demand our immediate attention. I thank you for your help in the search. Gosetsu has told me all that has transpired. I would not presume to defend the life Jifuya led before he joined the front, nor will I condemn it. Frankly, it is not my place to judge. I only say this. The Jifuya I know has been a man of courage. That he should be driven to flee bespeaks the depth of his terror. Even now, Yatsuyu casts shadow over the realm. But the question of what is to be done with her must wait. The Empire is on the move once more. Storm on the horizon. The Empire is on the move, and Heian would not be caught on the back foot. While we were out searching for Jifuya, we received word from our shinobi allies. An Imperial airship has been sighted over Doman soil. Our visitor's objective remains unclear, but it may be another attempt to recover Yatsuyu or a prelude to invasion. Either way, the craft reportedly advances at speed, and appears bound for Castrum Fluminus. I mean to go there and ascertain their intent. If we ride out in force, it will only end one way, so we shall keep our numbers to a minimum. Yugiri, Hard, can I count on you? Taking all the babes, are you? Yes, my lord. Elise and I would fain play our part as well. We will not stand idly by while a common foe threatens the lands of our friends and allies. We would be glad of the help. You are acquainted with Akuro, I believe. Then I bid you to seek him out and assist in maintaining order in the Enclave. When the people see an Imperial airship, they are liable to panic. I would have you reassure them, and should it come to it, aid in their evacuation. Very well, we shall depart at once. Do take care. What of me, my lord? The Empire may well be after Yatsuyu. You are to remain here and guard her until my return. As you wish. Pray stay close to Hard and Yugiri. Well, well. Guard duty, and not a breath of protest. Now I have seen it all. Castrum Fluminus. Then, let us find out what the Empire's game is. That's what I'm wondering. Why does the Empire actually has a proper castrum here? Did they retake it from the Domans? I thought we had driven them out. Although there may be remnant forces, which was actually the case in Eorzea. Probably couldn't drive them out, as it is. Okay, it's all the way back here. I feel like I've been there before. Must be imagining things. Either way, back to Namai. The fact that they are starting to mention Castrum Fluminus means that we might be closer to another trial than I thought. Although I am not prepared, so it will not be tonight. Kinda feels weird that this summer we're actually gonna be moving to an entirely new expansion. I feel like I've barely touched that one. Some dungeons I've actually only done once, and I wouldn't remember them. But such is the way of things. Yeah, I've been there. It's where they held the hostages. Right at the entrance? Doma is ill-equipped to deal with an aerial offensive. Should the Empire be so minded, Dexalos flying mounts would be our only hope. The area is secure. Whatever our visitors' purpose, they plainly believe they can achieve it alone. The craft should come into view at any moment. Let us await them inside the castrum. Planning to hold them off by yourself, eh? Then again... this might be related to something I kinda know by name.
A smoke signal? Thoughts, Yugiri?
In former times, such signals were used to announce the coming of an emissary of peace. In Doma, at least. But could that truly be their intent?
Who can say? Whatever they want, we cannot simply blast them out of the sky. Not when they were so gracious as to honor one of our cherished traditions. I would not have it said that we Domans want for propriety.
Then I shall go and reconnoiter.
Nay, that won't be necessary. We will meet them openly. I would welcome this student of Doman history in person, whomsoever he or she may be.
As you wish, my lord. I shall arrange for a signal of our own to be fired in answer.
Well, at least they are gracious enough to wait. Not a very Garlean trait, usually.
Well, that we should be received by the Lord of Doma himself.
I knew it.
I but afford an emissary of peace the courtesy he is due. Welcome to Doma, my lord.
Ah, where are my manners? I am Asahi Sas Brutus, ambassador plenipotentiary of Garlemald.
He is heir to the Naiuri clan, and Yotsu's stepbrother.
It seems I need not introduce myself, not in the presence of the famed Yugiri Mistwalker. Your skills as a shinobi are known far and wide, my lady. It is true, the former acting viceroy is my sister. Yet, bonds of kinship aside, we have precious little in common. As will soon become plain, I come not to sow strife, but to end it. I am of the Populares, a collective which represents the interests of the common man. Long have we labored to bring about reform to the Empire's provincial policy. Happily for us, our master acknowledges the need for change. Indeed, his radiance, Emperor Varys Zos Galvus, personally sanctioned this mission, granting me the authority to speak with his voice. To negotiate peace with Doma.
Well then, we have much to discuss. Will you accompany me to my hall?
Gladly, my lord.
Sounds more like a spy to me. Don't like his tone either. But what do I know? I'm generous, suspicious in general. Hey you. I say, do I stand in the presence of the fabled Icon Slayer? What an honor! Maxima. Lord Hien is magnanimous in victory. Given our nation's troubled history, we did not expect such hospitality. And you shouldn't. Peace, after all they have done, never has the word wrong more hollow. We shall escort our guest across the river to the Enclave. Yugiri, play go on ahead to the Yazuka Manor docks and see that the ferries are ready. So, off to the docks. And somehow I've got a flying wolf. This thing doesn't look like it could fly, would it? Looks more like it's running. That was from the Occult 9 Beast Tribe, the Ixili version. Huh. You know, this is the first time I think I've noticed that actual carving. Interesting. Probably because it was always night whenever I went here. Such scenes of devastation greeted us on our journey here, the bitter wages of war. I've read much about the architecture and geology of Doma. Words do not do it justice. Upon disembarking, we'll proceed directly to my hall, where we may enjoy some privacy. Lord Hien and I will accompany the Imperial delegation on the first ferry. When you're ready, speak with the boatman and join us on the other side. Hopefully the Enclave won't look as much of a dump as it used to. But then again, I suppose that was to be expected. Off to the Enclave. Having the remixed Doma team from Final Fantasy VI. Precious Reclamation. I remember there being something spoken about a Doma Enclave quest. The fact that I hadn't seen it yet made me believe that this wasn't the case. But with things looking a tiny bit better now, might be a possibility. There's even an Aetheryte, which I believe wasn't there before. Oh yeah. Good, that will save me the trouble. Lord Hien has requested that Master Alphino and Mistress Alize also be present at the negotiation. There you are, Hard. So first things first, what do you think of the Enclave? I must say, I'm quite proud of what my countrymen have accomplished in the time. It does look better. We even have an Aetheryte now, courtesy of the Onishishu. Be sure and attune to it, would you? Once it has the Warrior of Light seal of approval, people might actually start using the thing. But on the matter at hand, the ambassador and his retinue are at my hall, taking their ease ahead of the negotiations. I want you there when the talking starts. It will serve to send a message to the Empire that Eorzea and Doma stands united. I am not normally one for hollow posturing, but in this game of nations, such gestures carry weight. Oh, and should you feel uneasy about speaking for the Scions, Alphino and Alize will also be there. You need only eat, drink, and look imposing. Say you'll come. Oh sure, I'll look imposing. I'll be there. I knew I could count on you. When you're ready, come and join me at my humble abode, the Qiankong. The guardsmen will see you in. There's a Kuro here. I had forgotten about him. That's that guy we saw towards the end of Stormblood that was leading the Lupin Imperials. Thanks to Master Alphino and Mistress Alize's assurance, the people are reacting calmly to Imperial presence. The residents took the news of the Imperial delegation well enough, it should be business as usual. So it's to be a peace negotiation. I'm curious to see what the ambassador brings to the discussion table. Kian Khan Guardsman. Lord Hian is expecting you. May I show you in? Yes. Oh, holding court sitting again.
On behalf of my delegation, I offer you my humblest thanks. Never did I imagine that I would meet the gallant and noble Lord of Dorma himself, nor be welcomed into his magnificent hall.
You'll forgive me if we forgo the pleasantries. You say you are come to negotiate peace. Unless I am mistaken, such negotiations are typically conducted between sovereign nations. I was not aware that the Emperor had recognized Dorma's sovereignty.
His Radiance has yet to do so, that much is true. Know, however, that he has expressed willingness to cede Dorma to her ancestral masters and treat with her as a friend. Since the days of Emperor Solus, the Empire has aggressively expanded its territory. While you may not agree with our Founding Father's policy of expansion, I believe there is room for discussion on the matter of his lifelong goal, to rid the world of icons. Icons are a blight upon this star. They cannot be suffered to exist. This you know as well as we. In his wisdom, Emperor Varus wishes to explore the possibility of an alliance to combat this common threat. On the condition that Dorma renounces summoning and pledges to police the Korgin's practice of it, his Radiance would extend the hand of friendship.
Dorma has never shown any appetite for summoning, and it should go without saying that we will address any threat to our people, icon or otherwise. With regard to the Korgin, I must stress that they only resorted to summoning under extreme provocation. When the Ruby Sea was at peace and their sacred relics safe, they looked not to their kami for protection. Yet even now there are certain parties who would destabilize the region with ill-conceived military forays. Unless they alter their course, we cannot hope to be rid of icons.
Quite. I can but apologize. In seeking to eliminate icons, the Empire creates them. 'Tis an irony among ironies, one with which the people of Eorzea are well acquainted, I am told.
Indeed, many summonings are the result of persecution, the weak being driven to call upon the divine for deliverance from the strong. So it was in Alamigo, the bitter fruit of Garlean oppression.
A tragic state of affairs. If we are to put an end to summoning once and for all, it shall not be through might, but harmony. Yet we continue to repeat our mistakes, oblivious to the lessons of history. My comrades and I would change all that. We, Populares, have campaigned long and hard for a shift in imperial policy, and at last the Emperor has seen fit to lend us an ear. Alas, there is a faction within Garlemald that would obstruct our every attempt at reform. A collection of pure-blooded Garleans who seek to consolidate their own supremacy. The Optimates. Lest you wonder, theirs was the hand that loosed our forces on the Confederacy. 'Twas a regrettable incident, one that flies in the face of everything we believe, and I swear to do all in my power to prevent a reoccurrence.
That would be most welcome. But if I may speak plain, If the Empire itself is not of one mind, how can we be certain that any peace we negotiate will be honored?
I cannot blame you for doubting us. Indeed, I should find it strange if you did not. And so, in the name of building trust, I would like to make a proposal. A prisoner exchange. Under Garlean rule, no few Dormans were conscripted into the Imperial army. We would repatriate them in return for those of ours you captured in the recent conflict. Naturally, any exchange would include the acting viceroy.
Yotsuyu? What makes you think we have her?
Forgive me, my lord. Was it not your wish to speak plain? Let us not play games. I desire only to work to our mutual benefit. The Optimates tried and failed to take my sister by force. I would succeed by peaceable means, thereby strengthening my party's hand. 'Twould be a lie to say I would not also be glad of my sister's safe return.
Didn't see you there. Hi, Emma. Glad to have you with us. Although we are nearly done.
A fellow plain speaker. How refreshing. Very well. Your proposal has merit, but I will need time to consider it.
Of course, my lord. May we remain in Dorma until you have come to a decision?
You shall be our honored guests. Yugiri, I leave the ambassador and his retinue in your care. See that they are well looked after.
You have our gratitude, Lord Hien. We shall look forward to your answer.
Well, I can't say I'm particularly convinced about that exchange, but we'll see. The fact that there are two opposing factions at work in Garlemald complicates matters. Even assuming Asahi and his associates can be trusted, what if the others? That the Empire should send Yotsuyu, stepbrother of all people, I wonder how he feels, a son of Doma returning home to speak for the oppressors his countrymen drove out. Whatever Lord Hien's decisions should be, I shall abide by it. Yet, I would be glad to welcome my lost brothers back to Doma. Well, that was unexpected. You can say that again. I still don't know quite what to make of it all, but on the surface, a prisoner exchange does seem a good way to begin. The question is, can they be trusted? They are not gained by divulging the details of their internal divisions. As it stands, we have no reason to doubt them. But the ambassador's mention of Yotsuyu left me ill at ease, and made his grand talk of peace seem uncannily like a lengthy preamble. You think this might all be a ruse to facilitate her retrieval? Perhaps, though I cannot fathom why they would go to such lengths. Yotsuyu may have been the acting viceroy, but she is not Garlean, nor even highborn. Her value must presumably lie in what she knows. Which brings us to the little matter of her memory loss. In her present condition, she would not yield any worthwhile intelligence, nor is she worth much as a bargaining piece. Alfino, you're well acquainted with the Empire's methods. I would have your thoughts on this matter. My knowledge is at your disposal, Lord Hien. While the Ambassador's proposal is appealing in principle, it would be remiss of us to not give it due scrutiny. Indeed, though it seems to me I have little choice but to accept regardless. With so many of our brothers and sisters languishing in Imperial camps, I cannot well turn my back on the chance to secure their repatriation. Only the Kami know when I will be afforded another. But ere we continue, shall we excuse these two? I fear what follows will bore them to tears. I was just about to show myself out as it happens. Come on, Hard. Let's leave Alfino to dispense his copious knowledge. Oh, that sounded like a cheap shot. Someone is still sore from being made to watch at Sakazuki. Go on and keep Alize company. We are safe enough for now. You've more than earned a rest, my friend. Leave the intermittent visits to us. Yeah, about the same. What you got? Worry not hard, we shall take care of the rest. Go on and keep Alize company. A chance to relax at last. I know when I'm out of my depth hard. Though no weapons are drawn, a negotiation is no less a battle, and the stakes can be every bit as high. One misplaced word and people could die. Take someone with a cool head, and I'll be the first to admit that's not me. Yeah, remember that debacle with Lakshmi. So we're left with the eternal question, what to do while they prattle on? Don't ask me. Anywho. Gee, I don't know. I figure now isn't as good time as any to call it. So I'm afraid that's gonna be it for the time being. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you like what you're seeing, maybe follow the stream. Maybe leave a comment if you're on YouTube. And that was the Great Pumpkin. Y'all have a pleasant time now. Bye-bye.